Welcome everybody to another edition of the Black Mental Health Podcast. I'm your host Reg, and joined today is another lovely guest. What you want me to call you? Telfrida?
Telfrida is fine.
Telfrida is mine? Miss Telfrida.
Hi. Hi everybody, how's it going?
Y'all can respond to her.
Y'all can just put it in the comments. Like, I'm doing good. My mom is doing good. Like,
and we black.
And we black. It's fuck. I can curse on here.
You can do whatever you makes you feel good.
Don't be commenting like, oh, why her mouth so potty? It is. I really do.
So I thought it would be a good idea to bring her on the podcast because she ran her own podcast and her own blog.
Yeah, Expressive Trinity, but those days are over.
What was it about briefly?
Okay, so briefly, I literally had a dream about it. I felt like people tend to create human expression in three ways. So art, music, and fashion. So it's like the holy trinity of human expression. And I came up with the name Expressive Trinity.
I love it.
And so for 7 years, the number of completion, 7 years, I was like really just like pen and paper and linking up with all like just mostly Philly-based creatives because I felt like Philly didn't get the shine that it deserves in regards to creative people and our creative scene, more specifically our black creative scene. Like, everybody talks about New York and LA and all that other shit. It's like, well, no, like we have homegrown gifts right here. So like that was really what my platform was.
How was it when you was doing it? Because I know the entrepreneur journey is like a tough one.
Yeah, it was hard. So I was juggling that and school. So some people who I had interviewed, I was doing it from campus, like up ship, Skyping, like, and then before, like, I was like, oh, let me just podcast. I would replay the audio and type up a piece. So I had to cut down like 2 or 3 pages to make it into like maybe 2 or 3 paragraphs. So I was really working overtime, but it was worth it. I met a lot of beautiful people doing that.
How was it like mentally, like with this, like how did you deal with it mentally? Because I know with me, it's hard like being like a one-man band where you got to do the editing, you got to do the writing up the post like you said, the posting it, the promoting, doing all that. How did you deal with that mentally?
I would just breathe and then just, you know, I would get feedback from people, and that's kind of what kept me motivated because I was able to churn stuff out every week, and then at one point I had to just like take a break because I stopped doing it. My father had passed away like maybe like a year after I started. So I took a break, and like people were reaching out to me like, where's the content? Like, I know this artist, I know this person, like I think this would be dope. I met them, blah blah blah. So like I would literally just like let me take a breath and give the people what they want, because I'm like, well, people really count on me for this shit. I mean, that was surprising, and you know, people loved it. I loved it. Like good, bad, and indifferent. And then I realized that a lot of my friends are creative too. Right. And that kind of just like opened my eyes to like see them in a different light and just like appreciate them more. Like shout out to me and Rory.
What's up, me?
He's pretty lit.
Yeah, he was killing the rap scene. I'm rooting for you, bro. I'm rooting for you.
Make sure I get that money over bullshit. I think it's the 3rd one.
Hey. I think he delayed it for me, but whatever.
We're fans.
Yeah, we're fans. Me probably be on here too one day to tell us about the struggles of getting into the rap industry or so. But all right, so you spoke of your dad passing away and like it took a mental toll on you too. Like how did you either get through that? Like explain that just briefly.
So I always like to say, you know, you don't really get over the loss of someone. You just continue to like work through it. So it's been 6 years. I think it happened in 2012. Yeah, so it's been 6 years since he passed, and it's still kind of hard, but not as hard as it was when it first happened. So I had a lot of low points, like low.
No, I get it.
And you know, I look back on myself, and I was like a completely different person back then compared to now. And it's like even to this day, like his loss still has effects on me, but it like plays out in other ways. So let's say if I'm in a relationship and it don't work out, I'm like, all right, damn, now I'm sad. Like, I'm never gonna have a relationship like my parents. And then like his death kind of like roots back into it somehow.
So how do you like deal with the stresses or when they do come up? Because I know they probably reoccur, and then you have to like, it's like reliving the same horror movie over and over again.
Well, this time it's like you know who the scary person is. It's like Scooby-Doo almost. Like, I know who you are.
Right.
I started journaling again. Writing really does help, like physically writing stuff down. I'm pretty sure a lot of the shit in my journal is spelled wrong because there's no spell check.
Right.
But it felt good to like get it down on paper, and like my father would send me letters. So all the years I was in college, for like 3 years, I'm like, you have a cell phone, why don't you call me? But he would just write me letters, and so in turn I would write to him. So it's almost like a healing experience too. And I still feel like I connect with him through writing in my journal, because those are like my own personal thoughts. But you know, I still feel like it's almost like I'm writing to him. Like,
so you spoke briefly about it like playing a part in the guys you date or with your dating. Like, can you dive in more to that? Like,
y'all niggas is difficult. But I'm difficult too. But it's hard, like, trying to date and deal with it. I don't know, my father raised us, we were kind of spoiled. He's basically like, you know, as long as I'm alive, you never have to work. Right. And like, I was real salty because he kept that promise. So when he passed away, I was like, oh shit,
daddy's little girl,
I gotta get a job.
Right.
Like, I just can't write home like, Dad, I'm hungry, send monies, and I get a letter with like a few checks in it, you know. But he also like raised us kind of tough too, because you know, he's like, well, I'm the only man that you need in your life. But don't get these niggas nothing. You got your own money. You can pay for this, you can do for that. And I think that sometimes like intimidates some guys, because I'm like, I'll pay for it, like, you know, or I'll take you out. And a lot of niggas don't drive. And I'm like, well, I'll come pick you up. And I guess they might feel like emasculated a little bit. So I've been trying to like reel that in some, you know, because my mother is very just like, don't get these niggas nothing, like, you have your own stuff. Like, that's how she raised us too. So I don't know, but I'm really soft. I'm super soft. Like,
why do you think men have a hard time living up to that certain type of rule? Because I know when I talk to certain men, it's like I don't know, like, they don't carry themselves as men. And when I say that, I mean, like, kind of the woman is more of the they're everything. It used to be gender roles, and it's like, even though everybody's free to be who they be, I don't feel like men have their place anymore. It's like women have the job, they have the money, they provide for the kids, they take care of the kids, they bring home the bacon, they cook the bacon.
And I think, I don't know, and I agree with you. Like, and I feel like, you know, sometimes as black women, we have to take into account the things that we do too, where it's like, you can't tell your daughter every day, like, oh, niggas ain't shit. So then when she grow up, that's gonna be her first thought, like, oh, these niggas ain't shit. Like, right. And, you know, I think it needs to be like a level of like healing and love involved within the black community for us to like nurture and love one another. Like, you can still be a man and like not have to feel emasculated or intimidated by the power that your woman has. Right. So it's like, you know, like, I might make more than some of the guys that I date. And as soon as it becomes an issue, like, I get annoyed because it's like, oh, it's just money. Like, it's cool. Like, if I say I got it. But if you, like, if you making it such a big deal, like, so I don't know.
So, as far as the daddy role, like we was just talking about men, what do you feel like the role of dads into the black community? Because how big of a role your dad played in your life, what's the role that you think? I
feel like a lot of black men should become more community oriented. Like, so growing up around here, like, it was like a few boys on the block, but the one, my neighbor, she had like, I think like 4 boys, but their dad wasn't really around. So it's like my dad kind of like became everybody's dad. And so like he would take them to the gym and to the pool and stuff like that, and like hang out with them and just bond with them, like a male mentor. And it was crazy because like, But when he passed away, like, everybody from Grand came back. And was like, y'all remember Mr. Marley? He was funny and shit. Yeah. Like, he would joke with them, but I didn't realize, like, how big of an impact he had. So.
I get in trouble for that, you know, because most of my friends don't got kids, but I have also friends that do have kids, and sometimes I gotta help out with them, and I take from my family, and it hurts them,
right?
Because I guess I'm trying to word it right. A good man or a good dad like yours was hard to find. It was valuable. So when I can't see these little kids over here wanting $1 or a little kid, like you said, going to the gym, was like, yo, just come with me, and it's like I got 2 sons, but I damn near got like 12 sons.
Yeah. And that's important too, but then that sets you up to be a good role model for your sons. Because then they can have that affinity and that appreciation. Like, you know, my dad was there for me, but he was also there for other kids who look like me who didn't have that privilege.
It's the roles are very vacant right now, and it's like I wish more men could step up. And it's hard. It's hard though. Like we just talked about the men feeling demasculated, especially with the role of the black man and how we're the Willie Lynch syndrome and how we just killing off each other. And it's like, y'all, it's a bigger picture here that y'all don't see. And it's like we need y'all. As far as women, I need y'all as another man. Like my hands getting pulled in too many directions.
Like, I need help.
And the stress of that become unbearable. But I don't know. So. The impact he made on the people around him, do you think they took that with them?
I want to say Like his funeral was gigantic. I've never seen that many people. Like, and they just kept coming. And I didn't know that he knew that many people, or that he touched that many people. And like, I just think he was like a genuine person. And so, like, he struggled a lot, but he also took the time to try to, like, make it right. And I think that's where, like, a lot of people kind of fall short, is that they don't want to take that time to look inward and, like, focus in on themselves and say, like, hey, I have a problem with this. Maybe I should get it checked out. Like, a lot of niggas' issues be with, like, masculinity. It's like, you know, like how we were just chopping about, you know, self-care, and it's like, yo, it's cool to get your feet done.
Nah, we just had a whole like conversation with my friends, and I was telling them like I'm about to be on the camera soon, like I need to self-care, like start taking care of my face and my toes and the other parts that
and like I'm an esthetician, so y'all come see me, Salon Almania. But so like it's important to like take care of yourself, but and to also realize like you're still a man. Like, a lot of times, like, you know, the whole like gay thing, and for one, that's not fair to gay men. It's like, just because you gay, I don't mean you make you less of or more than men in the next man. Like, it's just that you opt to present yourself in a different manner. But you know, you still need to like do that self-construction and that like look inward. Like, if you got a beef with a nigga, is it really like a need to fight him? Like, try to like look at it from all angles. And I think a lot of times like that shit come from like embarrassment, but you feel like you gotta like prove yourself or something like that. And like society doesn't really make it any easier on black men. And I don't know, like my heart bleeds for black men. And I don't like, if any way that I can be of a like help, you know, like, cause I used to teach. That shit was hard. I loved my kids though. I taught 6th, 7th, 8th grade.
Okay, so you talked about the kids. You taught black kids, I'm sure.
Yes, black and Spanish.
What did you notice about the black kids that where we could get improvement, like in the black household? Like, because I know when I talk to kids, they're misunderstood. Like, they're misunderstood by our own people. Right. We were misunderstood by the teacher because our teachers be white. So, like, we're misunderstood by a lot of people. And that's why I'm going back to try to talk to them, like, to be more relatable. So what did you see when you was in the teaching field?
Our students have so much, like, creativity. Like, they're bursting with it. And I feel like the school system wants to, like, repress that. As a culture, we're music, we're dancing, like, we're expression, we're art. Like, our skin is literally the color of the sky. So, like, you know, we need that creative outlet. And Like, I had my one student. I love him to death. Like, that's my son. I don't care. I go back to Delaware and visit him all the time. But he was really good at science. But he kind of repressed it because, you know, he had like a bad, I guess like a bad attitude. And so like the teachers wouldn't like, let's say they wouldn't call on him. They was like assume he was playing, or you know like he was diagnosed with ADD, so he would be on meds. So he was kind of like a zombie. I hate him. He was on meds. Like I told his mom, I'm like, don't send him to be on his meds. I need him to be himself.
Yep.
Like I can deal with him when he is himself.
Yep.
And so like he was really good at science, and how he like correlated the science like to his like everyday life was like, you know, he would equate it to basketball. Like so the trajectory of the ball, if I shoot it, I'm like, well hell, you explained it better than I did. So
I think that's all we're missing though, like because there's not enough of us in the community to like relate them to the information that they're receiving. That's why we struggle with school, because anybody can learn. We just all the way the system is structured is set for one way of learning, right? And it's like we all learn differently. And especially us, we going home to our communities being way different than what everybody else going home to. So you got to break stuff down. I don't have time to learn just your way. Like, like,
and then like everything needs to be taken into account. So I had like parents who might have been working like 3-4 jobs. And it's like, you know, it's hard for me to do homework help, but they can't afford a tutor. Like tutors charge like $60 an hour. Like, you know, I can barely keep the lights on. Like I don't know, I got to pay rent, and you know, I don't have time for this. And so that's kind of like where the gap. That's a part of the gap. Like I can't say that's the only thing. That's a part of it. So you know, at one point, I was like, you know, I'll provide tutoring for kids if y'all need it. You know. Like my schedule's about to change. I'm still willing to do that. But that makes a difference. And like definitely seeing people who look like you. You can relate to it. It's like I can respect you in the message that you're giving me because you look like the people I see at home. And then like how you said like teachers are just, I don't know, these white teachers.
It's nothing against them.
It is something like, against them. I have something against them.
Take it away.
Not all of them, but because I know amazing teachers who are white and who are good and they're allies and they're here for black and brown students and they use their privilege for good. But you have others who have like a savior complex, and it's like, no, sis, like these kids don't need to be saved; they need to be taught. And you're not doing that. My sisters just pulled up, and so it's just like you're not doing that, like. And then they come in with their privilege and their biases, and you know, more specifically, white women teachers. I had to, you know, get jiggy with a few of them because I'm like, you're not about to sit here and demean this child in front of me. Who are you talking to like that? This is a student. I'm
guessing you have a specific example. Like, how was it? Like, what happened?
Because okay, so it was an emotional support classroom. So these children have trauma already. So it's like specific training you have to go through, all this other stuff. So she was talking to one of my kids, and she's like, you need to have a seat. And I was like, you don't have to talk to anybody this way. I'm like, let alone this brown child. So the images that they already see of white people are them being killed by white people. So now you bring this white woman in here who is like demeaning this child in front of me. The kids don't really know what's going on. They're not going to jump in and say something. So it's my job essentially to like protect and defend our kids.
Because you understand them.
Yes.
And it was this one kid. It's my cousin's son, and he's very hyperactive. But people don't understand him, and I love that kid. Like sometimes more than my own kid. You know, the squeakiest will always gets the most attention. So I'm like, I got my kids under control, but everybody look at this kid as a misfit because he's so hyper, and I'm like, he just needs
something to do.
That's it.
He needs something to do.
And then he got older, and once they found something, like he's good at math. So once he get into his numbers, it's like, yo, I love this math problem, figure it out. And he sit there, and he's the quietest person in the world. But they were so quick to put him on meds. They were so quick to do all of these things, and it was like, yo, he don't need that. He just needs a focus. And sadly, is no one in there enforcing that on all of the kids, because we're not stupid. We're not stupid at all. Any means, we're not stupid.
Like math and stuff started in Africa. Like everyone's taught the roots. So like, yeah, it was a lot of bullshit at the school I was at.
So these kids, they all are all on social media right now.
Sorry guys, I'm staging.
And they're seeing things that's going on in our community. Which you're very vocal on social media.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about the stuff that people see or what's going on social media, like in the black community?
So like I had to block a lot of people,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like unknown because it's like the information is out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's so dope that you got this video, you recorded it, and you want to like expose people and like show what's happening to us every day. However, there's really no need to keep sharing it. And I feel like right now, like social media is kind of being used against us as a way to desensitize people from the violence that you see. Like the Junior video, I didn't watch it.
I didn't watch it either.
I'm not
still
going to
haven't
watch
watched
it. I don't plan on watching it.
I don't either.
But I've heard people's reactions to it. And, you know, that was enough for me. And I'm like, so why do you all keep sharing it? Like, because now it'll get to a point where it's like, oh, somebody else got killed. And you just keep scrolling.
Past it, you won't.
And so, like, these kids are so plugged in. You know, I saw, like, 4th graders with, like, iPhones. I'm like, damn, I had to wait till I was 16 to get my first iPhone. Like, and that shit was a flip.
Right.
And so like these kids are so plugged in, and for them to just keep seeing that every single day, like maybe 3-4 times a day, like different deaths constantly. By the time they hit our age, it's gonna be like, all right, somebody else got killed, like, or somebody else got shot. All right, boom, they just keep shooting niggas left and right. Like they're not gonna care. It's gonna become apathy after a while. So I'm just like, yo, y'all gotta stop sharing these fucking videos. Like, you can report on it, like, type of a status. Right. But stop sharing these fucking videos. Like, I was literally sick to my stomach when, the rapper. His name? No, this was a while ago. The man they shot with the cigarettes.
Philando?
Philando's video had made me sick. Like, I really was, like, physically ill. And the other one, the guy outside the convenience store, and the cops had like shot him. I know.
And
he was already down.
Yeah.
And I just was like, y'all have to stop sharing this video. Like, I cut my phone off for like a week because I just couldn't keep looking at it. And I'm like, this is not a movie. This isn't something that's staged. He's not going to get back up. You know, he's not going to win an award for it. This man is dead. Like, his life. We literally watched somebody die. It's like a snuff video.
Right.
Like, why is that shit not banned on the internet?
But do you think we kind of play a role into, because we love World Star. I never been a fan of World Star. I never like really partaked in it because I knew what it was. I never was a fan of seeing people get jumped.
Yeah,
like I never.
violence.
Yeah, I never really fan like. But we support World Star, but then we get mad when we see the shootings. And it's like those two are the same bird. Somebody's uploading something. The one that gets me is when people watch somebody get beat up and don't and don't do nothing.
Don't do nothing.
That bothers me so bad. Like, everybody wants that instant clip of getting like fame, and it's like, yo, that person is about to die. Like the kid XXXTentacion when he died. I'm like, why are they filming this kid hungover? Like, your mom got to see that. Like,
really sad.
It's crazy. And so I'm just. Like you said, I'm sick of seeing like the videos and you're like pushing the narrative forward.
Like, y'all have to fucking stop. Like, you know, cut that shit the fuck out. And I feel like one of y'all niggas probably shared the video earlier today too. Cut it the fuck out. Just stop. Like, because now it's just like, okay, and then like white people love to be like, oh, black on black crime. Like, no, it's not a real thing. It's not a real thing. It's just crime by proximity. And then it's like white on white crime is way more, but y'all ain't talking about that shit. And it's just like, stop sharing it. Like, I don't know, like, and then people might get into like the music. Like, oh, well, music plays a role, and hip hop does this and this. I'm like, you know, these niggas is rapping about those real world experiences that they've been through. And that's all they can talk about. They only talk about what they know. Like, and then hopefully they'll start to change the direction. For example, I love that 21 Savage stopped buying Jordan. He was like, I'm not buying this shit no more. He got a scholarship now. Right. Like, for kids, I'm really proud of that nigga. Like, I feel like I watched my child grow up. Right. And so for him to be so young and turn it around like that kind of makes me feel better about those who are like coming up next, because he has such a big influence. And I know, like, even with Triple X, I don't know how to pronounce his name. with his passing, it hurt a lot of kids. Like, I listened to his music, and he was like, he was turning it around. His music was really good.
It was.
I fucked with his last album real heavy, and I was like shocked when I found out the news. Like, and then people were like, the person who did it had like tweeted out.
Yeah, he was like, he was.
I'm like, yo, you really are fucking sick, and like, I don't know. I feel like this world is starting to turn into like Black Mirror.
It is. And we could talk about more like that, but it was sad. I guess I have an unpopular opinion on it, but I feel bad for Junior and the 5 other boys, men that did it.
That was
too.
6 lives lost.
Right.
6.
No, and as much as people trying to condemn them, you got to think, for them to feel that strongly for one person, like one of them could have did the job, but what was they going through mentally?
Like that, we all need to do this.
Right.
And people are like, oh, it's a mistaken identity. Okay. Even if they got the right child, it's still not cool. That's
some harsh way to do something. And like you said, I was listening to XX like when he first came out. Like I remember when he was like in jail. The kid was just he was figuring it out. And I feel like so many people, and I'm sorry if we talking about kids too much, but so many people, I do too. So many people misunderstand that, listen, these kids are 19, 16, 17, 15. And what was you thinking about at those ages?
Shit, not that.
Right, right. And like, we don't allow people to figure things out. Like, and especially in the Black community, I feel like even with Bill Cosby, he probably did do the wrong.
Bill Cosby did that shit.
But look at all these other white men that did these same type of allegations, and we tearing down Bill Cosby along with the white people, but their heroes and their people get to still stay on. Bill Cosby wasn't the only one on them shows.
Hell no. Hell no.
He wasn't the only one. So all of those other people get affected, and it's like we get in a weird conundrum where it's like we gotta fight for what's right, but you still gotta fight for your people at the same time.
Exactly. You know, I can't remember who said it. I just remember like WD were always talking about like the veil, and just like how being Black in this country, like, I don't like, to be woke is to like be like sad all the time. Or, like,
It's depressing.
To be woke is to be angry because it's like this weird conundrum that you're in. Like you said, like, you know, I gotta fight for what's right, but now I also gotta fight for my people at the same time. But I'm still like, yo, fuck Bill Cosby, fuck Harvey Weinstein, fuck all these niggas out here being creeps.
Speaking of entertainers, how you feel about Kanye and his mental?
I don't have time. Like, I just said, like, rest in peace, Kanye. I hope he comes back to us. I hold on to his spirit.
I do too.
Like,
I do too. Like, you just waiting for him to just like somebody shake him.
Yeah.
And he like, what
I don't think he ever got over the loss of his mom. That was like a big.
But you said that though. Thing. Like, you never get over the loss.
You never do. And like, you know, I'm always promoting therapy. Like, therapy has helped me so much. It really has helped my family a lot too. So like, I don't know if Kanye is receiving therapy. I don't think he is.
I don't think he is. I think he's on meds, but
yeah, and I think that's a big thing too. Like, the pharmaceutical culture is like, all right, just take a few pills and you'll feel better. It's like, that's just like masking what it actually is. And like, even the family that he's involved in, like, them some culture vulture ass bitches. And like, and I was just really surprised by him. It's like, your mom probably rolling over her grave right now.
Right, and they said something, the realest thing that Snoop Dogg said was like, he don't have any Black women around him. To like really like
to check him. Yeah. Be like, nigga, what is going on?
No, right, like, because you won't disrespect your auntie with the hat, and she come in here and hit you with the newspaper.
Okay. Pop dead in your fucking face.
So therapy, I created this podcast and platform because for me, I'm not the richest person. I barely have any money.
Right.
So I created this to do therapy for myself. Like, I feel like conversations is what actually therapy is. It's like talking to somebody, letting go of your thoughts and just feeding off of one another. You said therapy was productive for you. How? I'm trying to think of the right way to say it. What have you learned that you've taken into the real world?
So from therapy, I learned that, like, I definitely need to like let a lot of things go. And I have, but it's so easy to hold on to stuff. Like, it's like you hold on to so many different ways. Like, you know, even something small like cleaning your room. Like you seen my room in school. Like, everything is always so put together. Like I'm super like everything has a space. You know, y'all niggas stole my school. I couldn't reach my towel for a little bit.
We did.
But it's whatever.
I didn't know she was still holding on to it.
Yes.
I do remember that.
Yes. For like a week.
I do remember.
A week. I had to stand on my bed, stand on the dresser and lean over into my closet because I couldn't reach the top of it because these niggas stole my stool. So, but just like, and like you said, like talking through it and like unpacking a lot of things. Like the brain does all that it can to protect itself. So thoughts and stuff will come up to you like, shit, I forgot about that. You know, or like, you know, a memory will resurface and say, well, shit, like, when did that even happen? But you start to acknowledge it, and I think that's really what I got from therapy. And a lot of people are just like scared to acknowledge their true selves. And I think the world would be a better place if a lot more people did that. More specifically, like black people. Like even earlier when we were talking about, you know, the black man and black woman dynamic. Black women, I say, well, black women, we gotta get our shit together too.
I don't say that. You can say
I
you're a
can
woman.
say it.
You're a woman. I don't get
Well,
into
don't be scared. You can
I
say
am
it too.
scared.
Don't
No,
be
I'm
scared.
scared.
Don't be scared. If you see a sis and she like, it's like, come on, sis, what's going on? You know?
But see, the reason why I can't do it is because I'm more of like a cutthroat. Okay. So men can handle cutthroat, and I know women have emotions, and I don't know how to like deal with it. Like
y'all have emotions too.
We do, 100%. I'm the first person to say
men are way more emotional.
We hide it, and we are. That's 100% true. We hide it, and if we was to open up,
talk about
it will help us a lot more. That's why we're so aggressive.
Yeah, you know how many wars would just end if niggas would literally just sit down. Like, bro, I'm sorry. Like, oh my god, like, I'm sorry too, bro. And then like, kumbaya. Like, if niggas would really just talk about stuff. And it's like, I know girls be annoying, like, hey, you on top, you on top, you on top.
No, it's true.
But like, I'm not that girl. I don't be trying to hear that shit. But it's like, I'll be like, y'all nigga, you need to do a therapy.
No. We all need therapy. They like they said, you go to the gym when you want to get healthy. You go to the hospital when you got something wrong with you. But when there's something wrong with our brain, we don't want to go to therapy.
Exactly.
And it's like you need that person. Like you said earlier about unpacking stuff, and you don't realize that stuff that you thought was put away.
Y'all niggas celebrate. They get on my nerves.
But my dad had. I started reaching out to my dad.
It's not gunshots, y'all. It's fireworks.
I started reaching out to my dad maybe back in like 2011.
That's good.
And we really didn't have a good communication all my life, and we still working on it. But I didn't even realize it was 2018. We've been talking for like 7 years. So we're working on our relationship. But when I first started talking to him, I had reached out to my little brother first. So through his mom, I was like, give him my number so we can talk. So when we talked, we was on the phone, and then I just remember, like, you never brought my bike up for Christmas that year. What?
See?
I was like, and I didn't even know I was holding on. I'm like, he was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, one year you bought me a bike for Christmas, and you said you was gonna bring it up, right? Because we couldn't fit it driving back to drop me off for Philly. He was living in North Carolina, and I'm like, you said you was gonna bring it up in like 2 weeks, and you never came, and I still haven't got that bike.
Where my bike at?
Where my bike at? And he was like, dude, I didn't even know you still was thinking about that bike.
You didn't even realize it until, like, seriously, like, unpacking it. And I feel like I commend you so much for, like, trying to build that relationship with your father, because that's going to help you be a better father.
But that was the reason why I did it. My son was just born, and I'm like, yo, I don't even have no relationship with my dad. Yeah. Yeah. So I was like, I need to go figure out. I had a lot of aggression.
Yes.
A lot of aggression. Just mad at the world, just getting in trouble. I'm like, I gotta fix this because I'm not nothing to my son if I can't do this.
Like you snapping on your son.
Son, yeah. Dad, right. And that's some weird stuff right there. Like I'm snapping on him. But like you said, we was talking about that earlier about the importance of the role of your father and how they play, and you don't even realize that. Right. Talk about like dad. What about mom's role? Like you say, women getting
nice. My mother is everything to me. My mom is so funny. Like, so My father had passed away. Then my grandfather. My father, I want to say, then my grandfather, and then my uncle. So my mom lost her husband, her dad, and her brother. In like a series of, I think they were like less, in like a time, like less than 4 years. She suffered like 3 big losses. And so like just watching her experience and go through everything that she went through, like I just commend her so much more. And it's like me and my dad's relationship growing up, it wasn't the best because we were like really similar. We just clashed so much. Like I didn't speak to him for like 4 years. Like we literally lived in the same house and I was not saying nothing to him.
Was it a breaking point because of something?
Of like why we stopped talking.
For that long?
Alright, so my dad was like he drank a lot. And so, like, with his drinking, we all kind of became, like, codependent, like, around his actions. And so, like, I still deal with codependency on other people, or, like, feeling the need to, like, I have to be there, like, I have to help. So, we would just clash, and so, like, sometimes he would have these bouts, and he would, like, take it out on me, because I was, like, most like him. And so, like, my freshman year, he came up for Valentine's Day, and like he took me to Friendly's. I never forget this. He took me to Friendly's, and he brought me some tulips, and like we didn't really talk about it, but I felt like that was his apology. So, and like then after that, he started writing me letters, and so the letters, it was almost like cryptic. Almost like I had to like read underneath the words that he was saying, and then my letters would be the same way. So it kind of like all worked out. But like my mom would always be there to like protect me, and so like you know when he would have his like fits or whatever, she would be there to like comfort me. And so like I kind of build that relationship with my mom. Like sometimes I would take advantage of it because I knew I could get anything
You're
from
a kid.
her.
Of course you're supposed to do that.
Even as an adult. Like, because my little sister, she'd be like, you was always mom's favorite. Like, she just let you do whatever you want. And I'm like, no, that's not true. That's not even true. But I don't know. I guess, like, my mother has played such a big role in my life. Like, she's one person I really, really look up to. Like, I don't know. Like, right now, she's evolving and she's transitioning into something. And just watching her do that is, like, really dope, too, because that just makes me feel better. Like, so I know, like, if I hit her age and I go through such a big, like, I can't imagine losing my husband, God forbid, my sister, and, like, her, like, in a series of, like, a less than 4 year time frame, and still be able to, like, get up and do stuff and, like, go to work and deal with people. So, like, she's just everything. And she's hilarious.
So if there was any advice you can give, because since you took therapy and you've been through things, what advice would you give to people that are suffering from stuff with mental health and going through things in their lives?
I would say don't give up, and try to look at the bigger picture of things. I have like a respect for people who decide when it's their time to end their lives. Just if they put like serious deep thought behind it. Like, for example, like if someone say like terminal cancer, you know, and they're just like, you know, this cancer's gonna put me through all this pain before I go. Like I want to go on my own terms, in my own time, in my own way. But if you're feeling sad and displaced in the world and that you feel like you're not wanted, you are wanted. And no man is an island. And everything that we do affects someone else. Like whether we know it or we don't know it. So if you are feeling sad and you feel like, you know, you're at a loss, suicide prevention hotline, talk to somebody. Like work through those feelings. And, you know, don't be scared to talk to people.
Last question, because this was a big part of the episode. What advice would you have somebody that's dealing with the loss of a parent?
Therapy. Definitely therapy. And surround yourself with people who surround yourself with people who will listen. Because sometimes you don't want to hear, like when my dad first passed, I got so tired of people saying like, it's gonna be okay, it's gonna be okay. I'm like, you don't fucking know that. Cheryl, get the fuck out of my face. Like, or, you know, people always ask, are you okay? Are you okay? No, I'm not okay. Stop asking me that. You know, just come, like, just say what's up and just let me vent. You know?
Just gotta find people to listen.
Yeah. So therapy.
Therapy.
They're paid to listen, damn it. And just, you know, you never really get over it. Sometimes you gotta go second by second. Shit. I had to go through day by day. And just monitor your behaviors too. Like,
what you mean?
So when my father passed away, I got into drinking very heavily. Like, I was just like drunkenly floating through the world. And that led into like other bad behaviors of like me justifying my drinking, and then becoming like a different person when I was drunk. So, you know, if you wake up from a blackout and you have like a bunch of text messages, people like, yo, what the fuck? It's just like, wow, like it doesn't feel good. And then you turn around and be like, well, because I don't feel good, I'm going to drink again. So just like monitoring your behaviors and being around people who will monitor them for you. Like, my mom sent for me. She was like, you need to come home. Because the way I was living was not right. And she felt it, and she knew it. And so I came back home to heal. Go to a healing space. That will help you. Find a healing person. Like, you know, reconnect with nature. Seriously.
That's true.
Yeah,
it's peaceful.
It is.
It's peaceful. I find myself, I just pull over and like in some woods or somewhere and just relax and just listen to, like, don't listen to nothing, just listen to the sounds, the wind blowing, the trees, the leaves, everything.
Put your bare feet on the ground to get your energy grounded back with the plant.
Your chakras.
Yeah. Seriously. And like, you know, just continue to love and let love find you and do good. And like, don't feel bad for asking for help. Like, I know with a lot of us, we're prideful people. Definitely black people. Like, it was a reason why we are so arrogant. Like we literally created the world's culture. But it's like, we need help too. So don't be afraid to ask for help. It's a pretty dope website, therapyforblackgirls.com. If you're a black boy, you should go there too. You know, these therapists, they look like your auntie.
Hey, so, auntie always there to listen with her booty.
Exactly. She'll rush you right in your bosom and sing Swing Low, Sweet Cherry Guy. And feel better. Right. Like, after unpacking some trauma. So yeah, like, just check it out.
Well, tell everybody where to follow you at.
Yes, you all can find me on those Instagrams at STeltician. That's ESTELTICIAN. I'm on Facebook too. Tell Frida. TELFREDA.
Hey, get them followers up. Them followers up.
They'll probably tagged like down here somewhere.
I gotta find a way, but you gonna get it. Everybody is gonna be in there. Well, that's our show, guys. Thank you for listening. Remember to subscribe. Whatever you listen on, you're listening on YouTube, subscribe. If you listen on iTunes, subscribe. Everywhere, wherever. That's how you help me. And remember, the podcast was created not as a replacement to therapy, but a place where people could share therapeutic stories to help other people. And thank you for listening.
Love y'all. Bye.